Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship here at DreamHack Winter 2015. I'm joined by Snoot, DeMuslim, and Apollo.
Hello.
Hopefully you guys have all been enjoying the game so far. Hopefully you have been enjoying them back home. Of course, we'd love to hear everything that you guys have to say, especially the very enlightening armchair strategists in the Twitch chat. You guys are probably better than all of us at the game. And if you want to continue to prove that, you can let us know on Twitter. And of course,
wow, look at you calling out all the Twitch chat.
Yeah,
I thought you were one of them.
Oh, of course. But, you know, it's important to keep in mind, of course, that the people that aren't playing always know best, Apollo.
Understood. Sorry for questioning. So.
It's okay.
It's true. They have more time to think.
Yeah, if you really think about it, the people who are playing the game are so busy trying to play, they can't really think as much about it, right? So,
Same in all sports and esports, mate.
E-games, I would say. But that being said, of course, our sponsor ROCCAT is still putting on a promotion. If you guys want to tweet, make sure to use hashtag DHW15, but also tweet hashtag SetTheRules, and you can win some free swag from ROCCAT as well. We'll be going throughout the course of the entire tournament, so, you know, quite a bit to engage in. Keep sending those wonderful feedbacks that you have.
Have you been reading the hashtag?
I actually got a few. Someone said that my memes were in fact dank, so shout out to you. Twitter handle I have already forgotten.
Really, is that a person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was literally the Twitter handle. Yeah. It's a high value profile.
I haven't. I mean, if you're going to ask me,
you missed out. You missed out.
I've been casting a little bit, so.
What do you guys think about our next match, PartinG versus Huck? You guys were just talking about this before we went live. This is an interesting match for Huck, right?
Yeah, so if Huck loses, it looks like he's going to be out after a good start in the groups. Currently, he sits at 2 wins and 2 losses. With a loss against PartinG, would put him 2 wins and 3 losses. And
that's not good.
Currently, PartinG's at the top of the group, as you can see, 4-0, sorry. But imagine this. Just look at this group here for a second. Imagine now that PartinG wins. He goes 5-0, he's through first place. Huck goes 2-3. Right now, Sword of Bly and Showtime are also playing games against each other with Probe. 2 of them are going to win. 2 of them are going to go 3-2.
When you take into account who each one of them are playing, though, so Huck, he's drawn the short straw here. He's up against the winner of the group, PartinG.
So Showtime plays Sort of, and Bly plays Probe.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty darn good for Bly right now to qualify.
Yes.
Showtime and Sort of, I believe it's 1-0
It depends on who wins
of
of them would take the 2nd, 3rd spot away from Huck if he was to lose versus PartinG. So Bly currently is leading versus Probe, and Sort of, if I'm not mistaken, is leading versus Showtime.
Wow.
So the only way that Huck survives is if he also wins, and then you have a 3-way tie for 2nd and 3rd, where they'd all be respectively 3 wins and 2 losses. But then you'd have to come in with the tiebreaker, which then comes down to, I think, head-to-head over map score. I'm not certain I'd have to ask the admin, actually, but either way, they're going to be tied up.
If it comes to that, we'll find out.
Yes.
So now we, of course, have to ask ourselves, how does Huck beat PartinG?
Well, that is next up. And if there's one matchup that I think PartinG could potentially lose to against a foreigner, I think mirror matchups is where it's at, because this is like a micro-intensive matchup where it's going to be disruptors, blink stalkers, dodging each other's balls of doom.
Yeah, I'd say
throwing
that's
as many of them as well as you can.
Yeah, I think someone pretty eloquently put it in the first week of tournaments was it's PvP has become tennis. You know, before it was like the Colossi dancing back and forth, but now it's just just hitting those disruptor balls at each other.
And I know that StarCraft never works like this, but PartinG beat Showtime already pretty convincingly, and Showtime beat Huck 2-0. So, I mean,
oh no!
If you ever go like
if
that,
that's what you're suggesting.
If you ever go like that, then it's looking pretty bad for Huck. But
let's we're just gonna go to the break already after this match. There's no need to bring it out then, man. Right? So I don't even know what he's supposed to do then.
He's got to pull out the stops now. I mean, he's been talking the talk, and now he actually has to walk the walk against PartinG, who, you know, is the massive favorite to be very deep in this tournament. But if Huck wants to do well, he's got to take out the best, right? That's the kind of mentality this guy has, right? Take out the best if you want to be the best.
Yep. I mean, if you don't take out the very top, then you're not going to win the tournament.
Nope.
And it doesn't get any easier after this either.
No.
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 No, not at all.
Only
The
just
tournament does
begun.
not magically get easier
No.
at all, I don't
No.
think.
No, there's a lot of great players that have gone through to the bracket stage.
This was one of the tougher groups, though, for sure. Because, I mean, Bly, Showtime, and sort of are all on a similar level. We didn't really know where Hook was before this. Like, Hook has been saying he's very good, but I never know where to compare the American players with the Europeans because they don't tend to play each other that much, but
Okay,
he seems to be
that's
on a
fair.
similar level, too.
Yeah, he definitely showed up, and I think just the way that the groups looked when we just checked at them, it's like, okay, yeah, it's very clear that this is a relatively even group. I think it also, as a minor consolation, it would have been interesting to imagine what this group also could have looked like if Iagas was in here instead of Probe.
That's true.
If he had been able to make it. But we're going to find out if Huck can keep his dreams alive as we're ready to go into his match against PartinG. Casters, take it away.
Thank you,
Cheers,
Nathanius.
Nate. We love you, man. We like you a lot, but what we like more is StarCraft.
We like a lot of things more.
We do. One of them being StarCraft. And it's time to jump into the first map. It is ready. PartinG versus Huck. PartinG currently undefeated so far in this tournament. Of course, a previous DreamHack champion versus another previous DreamHack champion in Huck. A long, long time ago, though. 2011, Huck won a championship.
Against Moon.
Correct.
I believe.
Correct. And it was in Jönköping. Unfortunately, PartinG's was not in Jönköping. PartinG's was in Le Francais, which I've actually been in recently. Le Paris. For the Gaming Nation Wars, which is a lot of fun.
I did watch you cast Clad the Lad.
Clad the Lad, mate. UK rep.
Boombox.
UK rep. Time for game number 1 of this matchup. A must-win here for Huck, or he faces elimination. Up here to the top left-hand side, spawning in as the red Protoss player. It is, of course, PartinG. Scratch of the nose.
Looks cool, calm, and collected, though. I know the Koreans, him and Solar at least, arrived 12 p.m. last night. Or 12 a.m. last night.
Wow, that's really late.
So, yeah, they came in
Super
very
late.
late in here. Spawning in the southwest side as our blue Protoss, it is Huck.
Huck. Smile, smile.
He's been smiling the whole time that he's been on camera today.
He's been having a great time in
When he
Legacy.
hasn't been swearing,
Yeah.
It's just been
He's been
smiles all around.
smiling or swearing. It's a massive game here from Huck. And over the years, to be fair to him, he has beaten some of the very best Koreans in PvP matchups. So he's going to have to do it again.
Very curious as to whether this would be a mirror kind of, hey, have Protoss already developed the best build that they can possibly do in this matchup to get to what they want to have? But already we see that these players are doing very, very, very different builds. So PartinG immediately going for a Nexus first on a map where you do spawn with a natural in the back of your base. So I kind of I like that.
When I was casting Nation Wars, speaking with Todd a little bit, he says that Nexus first in this matchup is really common as of recently.
Super common.
Super common.
I mean, with the new pylon overcharge the way that it is,
Yep.
and it also only costing 25 energy, it's pretty easy to defend.
Yes. And,
Whereas before it was such a huge committal, if you forced a pylon over or a Nexus overcharge being 100 energy, you could kind of go in for phase 2,
And it's, I mean, PartinG, has a look inside. He's like, oh boy, yeah, this is great. This Nexus is super late compared to mine. You're obviously going to try something shortly, but I don't know, man. Think I'm looking pretty good.
Like, Huck did get a lot of gas very, very quickly, and he's going to be spending it on a Twilight Council.
Yeah. And his Chronobus snap, that will get researched too. But where does he go? There's DTs, is it just Blink, which is obviously the more common route to go. But either way, PartinG isn't that far away from getting to where Huck is as well. I mean, sure, he's got a good, 60 seconds behind, but
Whenever you can throw down a command center or a hatchery or a Nexus in this case faster than your opponent, and you can get away with it, which he has done, you're always ahead. Like, how is Hook meant to punish this?
I mean, he's gone in, he's scouted, he knows what he's up against, he sees that it's Nexus first. Ooh. This is his decision, this is how he's going to do it. It is going to be the Dark Shrine, and he must hide this information away from PartinG, and also kind of hope that, his probe inside PartinG's base does not get scouted, which it has been. So that's been taken down, but he needs to find a way to get these TTs in and to do damage.
He needs to find a way to even up that probe count, because he is slightly behind. His tech, yes, it's ahead, but it's kind of a useless tech if it does get spotted.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, my immortal count's always going to be greater than my opponent. Oh, I'm going to be much closer to Disruptor than my opponent. No, if DTs get spotted, he's in really bad shape. And here, running up the ramp, not seeing a Stalker or a Sentry, he just sees Adepts.
Yeah, Stargate has been placed down here. And actually, look at this, Huck trying to go for the kill here, sending the Adepts away in hope to get some damage done here. He's going to chase.
Oh, I mean,
but this is 3 Stalkers.
I think he's going to... In fact, is he going to be able to get that? That is... Oh, that was cocky by PartinG. I was wondering if he was actually going to be able to get away with that.
Yeah.
But back at home, double... Is that double
Stargate? And he's going to enter the main base right now. And his tech may be revealed here as PartinG enters and has a look around. There is not much here. Photon Overcharge activated on the
keeps
pylon.
him away from the Dark Shrine there as well, so that was very important. Not only defensively, but also just scout-wise.
Has a pylon on the other side of the map, very close. It's just outside the bases here of PartinG. And the Dark Shrine is completed. And here we go. 2 DTs get warped in. A Phoenix is being built. Robo only just now added on. There is no detection for PartinG. And this is a move which is, of course, a bit of a gamble, but it looks like it's going to pay off.
Oh man, if these guys get in the base, there's only... Oh, there is a probe immediately blocking, but 1 slash and that guy is down now.
Uh-oh, GG! Huck takes map number 1 just like that. Woo!
Well, it's nice to see that PvP is still pretty volatile, man.
Just like that. No detection, and he just gave up straight away. No Oracle, robotics facility not finished. And that is that. That ended rather fast.
Rather abruptly, you know?
It did. And Huck fighting, stays alive. He's 1-0 up against PartinG. And that's rather unfortunate there for PartinG. Looking for a 5-0, looking for a complete whitewash. He's first place no matter what here, PartinG. But it is Huck who's fighting for survival in this tournament, as we described a little bit earlier on. A loss here against PartinG would almost for sure eliminate him.
Now, PartinG scouted very early on with his probe and saw that he went for the Nexus first and his opponent went for a much, much later Nexus. And upon going like double Stargate, do you think he anticipated his opponent going for like a single Stargate and just wanted to straight out counter him?
I had no idea, man. But
Me
no
neither.
idea.
I mean, I never remember seeing double Stargate in PvP in HOTS, unless you already knew it was a Phoenix War, then you add on your second Stargate much later, you know?
Yeah.
Like this, I can't think of it countering that much,
Yeah,
even if he gets away with it.
Played almost 0 PvP games, man.
Oh, I'm a
Legacy,
PvP master,
so I know. So I'm not sure exactly, but getting close to map number 2. It's just around the corner here as we look forward to finding out the top 6 players from both Group A and B. 3 players from each going forward to the bracket stage. First place is guaranteed top 6 in this tournament. Second and third are guaranteed top 12, where they fight to increase through the bracket stage, which starts tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to because there's a lot of good players in this tournament. Just waiting for map number 2 to load. You're a local Swede now.
Sorta.
After living in here, not sort of.
Not sort of, but sorta.
You've been living here for a while now, mate?
I have. I've traversed the globe now, lived in the hottest places and the coldest.
Yeah.
And I do like Sweden.
Yeah?
Yeah, beautiful place.
We're almost in this game, but what's the top 3 things? Go.
Meatballs.
2.
Chicks.
Chicks, okay. And 3?
Internet.
Okay, thank you very much. Here we are loaded into game number 2. As down here in the bottom left-hand side is the red Protoss player. It is PartinG looking for another DreamHack championship. And this time the trophy is sexy.
That hat's a very new look on PartinG. And spawning in the top right as our blue Protoss coming all the way from Canada, it is Huck.
Played at BlizzCon just a couple of weeks back in the Legacy of the Void show matches. And won with the assistance of his dear friend MC.
Ah, he carried MC, you know.
He did.
Now, again,
Nexus
the
first
same build.
again.
It's always funny when you go up, or you just lose a game, and he lost that game because he didn't anticipate DTs at all, but doing the exact same build again thus far, at Nexus first, that shows balls, but it also shows that you're you're trusting of your build, and he knows, I made a mistake, I'm just going to go for the same thing again because I'm pretty confident in it, and I'm confident in myself. And the same with Huck, the fact that he's going for the same initial build order, despite Nexus First being an economic advantage no matter how you look at it early on.
PartinG moving across the other side of the map with a probe to have a look-see inside his opponent's base to see what he's up to. And again, it is very similar from Huck. It is the double gas here.
And no scout from Huck early on either, right?
No, not yet. And PartinG goes in, have a quick look. One gas been taken on this side. He sees the probe moving down to build the Nexus. So identical openers for both. And now we're going to see the different branches they can take as PartinG does have a look around, fully understanding what he's up against. And this time you don't want to lose those DTs. If
It's always nice winning a game in the series, like the first game of the series, with something rather unusual or unorthodox. Like if you're a Terran and you do some crazy all-in, you set the pace of the series, but you also kind of let your opponent know that you're capable of anything.
Yeah.
And in this series, going DTs to win a game off one of the best Protosses in the world, that shows that Huck is also just confident, you know? Getting away with those kind of moves, it really shows PartinG, whoa, wow, this guy, he's not really afraid of me. He will do anything.
Well, he has chosen to go Twilight Council again, so we'll see if he goes down the exact same way. He has a probe inside his opponent's main base, Huck, so he's looking around. And this time sees again what he's up to, and again chooses to go for the Dark Shrine.
Wow.
Exactly a mirror game from both. I think the one difference is that PartinG last time had 2 gateways, and he's currently only on 1. But aside from that, it is very similar.
If Huck wins in the... Oh, there is a robo going down, so that is rather fortunate for PartinG, but that doesn't mean the game's over by any means. Like, probe count-wise, PartinG has a little bit of a lead, but with Chrono Boost on the right buildings, which we see that Huck has it still on his Nexus there, he could be catching up pretty quickly if PartinG chooses to change course. But right now, we can say that PartinG has a slight lead just based on build order alone.
Absolutely, and he needs that, obviously, to be able to try this series out. We'll see if he can follow through with it. There is a Warp Prism, or potentially a Warp Prism coming out from Huck, which would be able to elevate units around the back, where there may not be detection. But Twilight Council finishes up for PartinG. Blink is being researched. Huck is going for that Warp Prism with his extra gateways now finishing up.
I'm very curious where this all leads, though. Like, PvP, yes, it can be very volatile and such, but I'm really looking forward to see 2 top Protosses do the Blink Stalker Disruptor dance.
And who comes out on top? Who wins the dance off?
And is that the be-all and end-all? Is there anything better and beyond that, or do you have to stick to that? Because, I mean, Disruptors are going to get to a certain count that making anything on the ground besides Disruptors probably isn't worthwhile.
Yeah. No investment from Huck into Dark Templars yet, but he does have the Warp Prism in the middle of the map, which is going to get spotted by a probe.
Man, that's
really unlucky.
Like
really
the
unlucky.
One path that it can possibly take, and there happens to be a probe patrolling there. PartinG, you absolute dog.
And quite a few observers coming out here from PartinG to make sure he's okay against.
Oh, I love that. He's waiting with the Stalkers.
Here comes a warp in. 2 DTs invested into from Huck.
2 DTs is a very significant investment too, and Huck back at home's making cannons, so maybe he's worried about the potential of a... Oh, look at this. Oh, using that new Warp Prism pickup range, though, to a great effect there, not losing any of the DTs or any hull damage on that Warp Prism.
But PartinG does have his 3rd Nexus down at quite a difference to Huck, which is always going to be nice here.
Thrown down a super fast 3rd, too, with all of this. So Huck, with those cannons in his bases, I wonder if he was anticipating some sort of DT drop, or maybe this is just part of his build. Maybe he played so much ladder that, hey, I just play against adepts running into each base, and it's really super annoying.
Dark Templar are going to attempt to come in again. There is observers in positions. Mothership core ready for photon overcharge as well.
Ooh, that Warp Prism taking a couple of shots there.
And the Dark Templar gets pushed back again here.
That pylon placement, by the way, being right in the mineral line and such, that is something that we didn't see in HOTS, and just purely because of the new pylon overcharge change.
Yep.
This is just really smart pylon placement.
And the cannons to make sure PartinG's safe. As he starts to poke forward here, Huck has not seen this 3rd Nexus, which I'm starting to get a little bit worried for him about. He's about to spot it with a hallucinated Phoenix for the first time. And now you can be like, oh no, really?
Yeah, when you see that thing is already up and running, never mind just on the way. it kind of puts you in a position where you need to do something.
But he does have the robotics bay much faster. Disruptor tech is unlocked faster here, so there is that potential, as well as the warp prism, which he can use too, to great effect.
I'm just seeing that probe gap largen as each second passes. Advantages for Huck, yeah, the disruptor. And also he has +2 weapons on the way. So if a fight was to happen very soon, there is definitely a chance for him to deal a lot of damage. And he's still 4 DTs.
4 DTs, going straight for the pylons perhaps at the back, saying and the cannon and the pylons?
Yeah, kick that cannon, kick that pylon. And I mean, good 2 volleys with those DTs.
A distraction at the front here from Huck as he tackles this pylon, but more importantly, he's going to be coming around the back here, and he drops on top of the cannon, and he's going to try to deal damage. This is a pretty big move coming out from Huck. Where's the observer? There is not one. He takes down the pylon instantly, continues to do damage. It comes back just in the nick of time. The DT's trying to escape, trying to get back to that warp prism. 2 out of the 4 are going to survive.
Still
pretty good damage. Look at the worker difference now.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice trade by Huck, and Huck's managing to claw his way back into this. And right now, his army at home is looking pretty darn strong as well.
So now he's got the +2 advantage over his opponent, or leading towards that. He's got very similar economy after killing off 12 workers, and more disruptors. Things are starting to turn around a little bit by Huck. He continued to invest into the Dark Temple, or at least attempt to make it work, and finally he broke through. PartinG still holds a slight lead, but it's not as big as it was.
No, you're totally right. It's not as significant. And with Huck, he still has advantages, you know. It's not as if he's behind in every area here. You look at the overall supply, he's only behind by 10. I mean, that's 1 disruptor shot. In fact, that's half a disruptor shot sometimes if you're lucky. But he has the upgrade advantage, he's getting gateways together. Everything's looking pretty darn close between these 2 players.
Yeah, aside from 67 workers to 58, it's a nice difference there in favor of PartinG.
Now, this is where I start to get curious about this matchup, because do you carry on making Stalkers? Like, they're quite a low damage unit, but the reason you make them is because they're one of the units that can very easily avoid the Disruptor shot. A Dark Shrine from PartinG.
Yeah, and a second robotics facility too.
For more Disruptors? Because I don't think you make Colossi in this matchup at all, just because of how slow they are.
Crank out those Disruptor balls.
It has to be.
Yep, 2 at a time coming out.
Still adding on lots of Stalkers as well. 4 DTs still on the field for Huck. Are they waiting around in the Warp Prism still?
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, that's a death drop squad if I've ever seen one. And right now, Huck has the upgrade advantage, so this is a fight that he kind of wants to be taken, and it is close to his base, but there must be something else going on in the field. Goes for the Disruptor there.
He blinks forward there, chasing this. Oh, big hit coming out from PartinG, gets right into the center. And that was awesome. The blink forward from Huck and the counter movement with the Disruptor coming out from PartinG was great, and that is a absolutely fantastic catch.
You know, at first I was like, oh, that's a great catch by Huck, blinking forward and grabbing the whole army together, but the
he loses Disruptors as well.
Oh, and now he blinks forward as well, so now PartinG has defensive blink against a guy that has no blink at all, and the warp in as well with the Warp Prism. This is great play by PartinG.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is PvP at its finest in Legacy, is Blink Stalkers and Disruptors, and it looks like PartinG has a significant lead.
That really felt like PartinG was just baiting Huck into a blink, like taking a fight that he knew he would lose. Just, look at this. Man, those Disruptor balls, it looked like that was friendly fire damage actually from his own Disruptor as he blinked in on there, but Huck's trying to hold on here and does have a lot of Stalkers, but he's behind in workers, and PartinG's actually got his 4th up and running here.
Yeah, 59 workers to 70 now, and a little bit crazy this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it could all turn around in the blink of an eye as well.
Literally a blink.
Literally.
Of the eye.
But those Disruptors, man, they deal a lot of damage, and in this matchup, they deal just enough damage to one-shot Stalkers. But this, I like this. Huck knows that, hey, I need to be on the ball. He thinks he needs to be on the defensive, and by going on the offensive here, takes down a large mineral line, though losing his 3rd in return. Man, this is not looking too healthy for Huck right now.
No, PartinG has enough to defend his 3rd while destroying his opponents, and this continues to go in favor of the Korean, and he loses a 4th base, but that was always a given, and at this moment, it's a 20 supply army difference between the both of them, and PartinG has a superior income, being able to keep his third alive, which means he's going to keep on climbing in supply. Hug is supply blocked. Hug looking to catch these units out of position, though.
Look at these. Oh!
Another great hit there from PartinG.
And that Warp Prisms as well, just saving that Disruptor. There's a sandwich coming in from Hook, but a sandwich or a counter sandwich from PartinG. This is a huge blink war
It's a
going on in the middle
picnic
of the map.
here as the last remaining fight about to take place by the looks of it, as PartinG jumps forward to look to finish his game, to take it to map number 3 after a loss to Dark Templar in game number 1. And the leader of Group A continues to lead as he marches forward with his Stalkers, and there is not a lot left here for Hug.
No, this is a decimated Protoss. 61 workers to 54, but that's not really the story of this game. It is the huge Stalker count, and PartinG marching in, reinforcements joining, and GG is called. PartinG ties up the series, and Hook's life in this tournament is looking
It's on just one map.
grimmer.
It's all just on one map now as PartinG equalizes. And of course, we'll be looking to go 5-0 in this group, having taken one more map away from Hook. We'll find out. But now there's a lot on the line here in this $50,000 StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void tournament. As Huck, a player that I think people expected to at least reach the bracket stage and advance from group stages, is now potentially being eliminated.
I mean, we talked about this before, that those around 4 players that are all of similar caliber.
Yeah.
Like we had sort of Showtime and Bly. They're all very good. We didn't really know how Hook stood up against those guys. He beat sort of in the first game, then he lost against Bly and Showtime. So, you know, relatively similar, I'd say.
Yep.
PartinG is through no matter what now.
Correct. First place no matter what.
Yes.
Top
and
6 no matter what.
it's always a weird position being in, knowing that, hey, if I lose against you, you're through. If I beat you, or like, you know, he's going to go through first place anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just like whether he wants him to go through or not.
It's a
It's a lot of power.
It's a lot of power this man
It's
has.
a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility, and it all comes down to a single map left between these two, and we'll be loading into that in a couple of minutes. But are we going to see the same builds and strategies come from both? Because it feels like Huck, game number 1, got the instant win, but if there was a defense in place, then he would have fell behind like he did in game number 2.
And if Huck loses, by the way, that would be the first invite of the tournament going out.
That would be.
And also it would mean that more than one North American went out today.
Yes, that's correct.
In fact, it would be the only 2 North Americans, correct?
Yes.
All that talk about North America being equal to Europe.
Yeah, it's wouldn't be looking good losing 2 representations straight away in A and B.
Nope.
So that's a little sad. Later on, there is Puck.
Puck's
just
actually
Puck.
looking pretty darn strong. Like,
Yeah.
of the Americans, I think State is also looking pretty good. He's been living in Korea for quite a long time now, though, as far as I know.
Yes, for a long time, like
For a
2
long
years
time.
now. Almost as long as you've been living in Sweden.
Not that long.
That long? It's been a long time, right, Snoot? It's been like 2 years.
It's been a while.
It has been a long time.
Why'd you look at Snoot? He doesn't live there.
Yeah, but Snoot,
You're like, oh, these
Snoot
Northerners.
follows the professional scene closer than you do, so I thought I'd ask him.
Yeah, I know why Snoot's pulling faces, because I don't understand what you're saying either.
All right, map number 3 just around the corner here. And I hope you guys are having fun. Make sure to hashtag set the rules for a chance to win a ROCCAT mouse.
I don't think that's either Hook or PartinG's hand. I think that's just, it is sort of playing. So I think he's still up against Showtime here.
Yep.
And we don't have an update, but given that he was 1-0 ahead and he's still playing, I have to assume that's probably the 3rd game. So
yeah.
that's kind of intense.
Seemingly so.
And that would mean...
It's a very close group because of PartinG's because of PartinG's 4-0. It's like 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses to 4 players in that
And
group.
Little Probe going 0-4, maybe 0-5.
Yeah. Little sad for that Australian. He's made it a long way over here to play in this tournament, but
Little
has
mini
not had the
clone of
best
Snoot.
times.
You know, he may look a bit like Snoot, but don't got the mad skills of Snoot.
StarCraft action at its finest. Protoss versus Zerg.
Who's this playing? Did you get to see?
This is going to be Showtime and sort of.
That was Showtime.
Sort of.
You know, one weird thing about Showtime when he's playing, like, he doesn't rest his keyboard hand on the desk. He has it, like, floating.
Does he?
I always like watching players to see if they have, like,
I noticed
little interesting...
Bly had a very similar thing then.
Well, he has his, like, arm really far ahead, right?
Well, his mouse is at the end of the desk and his keyboard's at the beginning. He's like in this kind of stance.
Yeah.
And his wrist doesn't even
Floats?
touch. Yeah, it's a floater again.
Are you a floater?
No, definitely not.
Definitely a rester.
I'm definitely a rester.
There's Bly.
It's
Same with Majestic, the young Spaniard.
Yeah.
From DP.
It's a close Group A, and all the groups really have been close. Group B more so, I would say not so much in terms of closeness, but I'm pretty sure Group C and Group D, especially Group D, are going to be very closely fought. As you can have a look at Group A and Group B as of now.
It looks like Group B went pretty much as expected. Solar to take the group quite easily. And then Lambo and Alazer were the two strongest Zergs there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those guys in Europe, if you play against them, those are two of the guys that are playing a lot of games right now. So, yeah, very strong.
And look how closely contested Group A is in the middle.
Yeah, man. Like, Bly went through some tough matches, too. And then to be on your final match against Probe of the group, who's currently 0-4, that's quite a nice position to be in. Like, Huck, he really is up against it now, going up against PartinG to make it through the group.
Yep. It's a big game, and it's the last game of Group A and Group B that will be broadcasted on this stream, as we will be going forward into Group C and Group D, which we will be facing a lot of good players a little bit later on. Of course, Bomber, TY, Lilbo, TLO come through. There's a lot of big names in Group C and Group D, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Of course, Liquid Bunny, too.
And, I mean, if we say that the Koreans are obvious favorites, I still see a few people that can contest with them in these groups. Like PartinG, he's capable of losing. Solar, I don't think there's anybody in that group that could beat him. I think the real fears for Solar are Bly and Nurtio. But in the other groups where you have TY, who is insanely good, but he's got Bunny, Nurtio, and Lilbo to contest with. And even TLO's a crazy little dude.
Don't you forget about Majestic.
I won't forget about Majestic.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's a good group.
Dude.
Once we get down there.
Yeah, having Bunny, Lilbo, and Nurtio, like, those are three foreigners that I'd honestly put as some of the best foreigners we've ever had.
Yeah, safe to say.
From different eras of time.
Yeah. Nurtio's feeling great right now, too. I spoke to him a little bit. He's really enjoying Legacy of the Void. He's playing a lot.
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't like his group, and he said to me before, he said, if he was in Group A, B, or C, he'd definitely be going through. But Group D is such a difficult group where he's questioning it a little bit because of the stacked up list there isn't there.
Yeah, and even TLO enjoys playing against Nurtio, like, quite notoriously.
Yeah.
And Nurtio's been one of the guys that you don't really like to play against, but TLO picks him every time because TLO likes CBC. But yeah, we will be getting into this game. So spawning in the top left as our red Protoss, it is PartinG.
Is he going to part with first place?
Possibly.
Gotta do another one.
And spawning over on the opposite side as our blue Protoss, hailing all the way from Canada, it is Huck. Not looking quite as chipper and chappy.
I was going to say chirpy, very close.
Chirpy. Basically a mix of the two words that I use. So let's see. It looks like this is the game that PartinG's going to be doing something else. And this is the one map of the three that they've played so far where you don't start off with a natural in the back of your base.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one thing that PartinG's like, well, if you start off with a natural in the back of your base, you might as well use it. Like, what can you realistically die to? Although, I can't really see a 2 gateway before a cyber. That's ballsy.
Indeed it is.
Have you seen this before, Apollo?
I have seen it before. In
Nation War or where?
Yes. And on streams.
Who did it? And what did they do with it?
I can't remember in Nation Wars. Who was it that did it? I do remember seeing it though. It's usually, well, it can go both ways. It can be Adepts or Stalkers.
I was just thinking, I haven't really seen many Adepts in this series. We saw Huck go them in the first game just to hold on until he made DTs. And it's a pretty cheap unit gas-wise. But Adepts, if you can get them in a base dealing damage, They're very scary, and Huck goes for a very early Nexus with this. So Huck's just kind of done the same build that he's been doing throughout the whole series, whereas
Yes.
PartinG, he's changing it up.
Yeah, PartinG's going to move forward now. Doesn't see the Nexus immediately, but it's
Ooh.
going to have... Oh, he did see it, sorry. So he does see the Nexus. He moves in.
Double Stalker on the way for PartinG here. I wonder if he's chrono boosting either. No. Okay.
Yeah. How does he want to approach this? Does he just throw down the Nexus immediately? Does he want to invest more into this type of aggression? If
Ooh.
he wants to follow through.
Now, Huck, upon not scouting that Nexus, I'm very curious as to what his reaction is going to be, if there is going to be one at all. Like, is he worrying at this point in time? Throws down his own gateway number 2 and 3, so just leapfrogs PartinG on the gateway count.
But PartinG looks like he's well, he's kind of boosting into gateways here, and he's throwing a Stargate on the other side of the map here.
A very aggressive Stargate that gets scouted almost immediately. So, whoa, whoa, whoa! What's that other
And
building?
a gateway.
Wow. Okay, so Huck knows that the pressure is going to be on.
Okay,
Now,
this is tournament life on the line here for Huck. He defends, he stays alive in this tournament. He loses, he's gone.
okay, does
big
Huck,
moment.
Okay, Huck's placing down defensive pylons here, so that's a good move. Those guys deal 30 damage per hit. But that Stargate is what worries me. How's that Stargate going to be used against Huck to deal damage?
All right, number 1 has already been triggered.
Ooh, pylon on the high ground, that means he has vision now. It kind of prevents PartinG from walking there without getting shot by the pylons too, so I'm not sure if I like it.
Well, here comes the reinforcements for PartinG. Another photon overcharge on the pylon.
Oh man, these pylon overcharges, they're not being used too sparingly, and soon that mothership core is going to be totally out of energy.
Trying to get rid of that pylon. So important to get rid of it. And PartinG is going to give it up. He's going to allow the pylon to go down. Gives a couple of hits to the Adept, but another overcharge onto the forward pylon. Keeps PartinG at bay for now, but an Oracle's on its way. 3 additional warpins of Stalkers. The Oracle's going to go into the main base, of course. And then the Stalker's going to enter the natural. Does he have energy for another overcharge? He does not.
And look how much...
Oh,
Oh man.
big move from PartinG, and he gets right into that mineral line. And at the same time, Huck is kind of okay on the front here.
He's fighting outside of the photon overcharge here though, so does lose quite a bit. And despite losing 9 probes here, he's still decent on the probe count, and he mines so much gas that he doesn't even automatically need.
There's quite a lot of
Works in
units
his
here
main.
now, though, for PartinG as he pokes forwards. Another overcharge will be available soon. It's not ready yet. 2 Oracles, though.
Man, those Oracles dealt the single Oracle dealt a lot of damage, and cleaning up these pylons at the front will help him a lot, but Huck's got a pretty darn decent defense, and as long as he holds that ramp, he doesn't want to run too far down the ramp, though. He doesn't want to get locked out of his base by any sort of in any way, shape, or form.
Can he keep holding here?
Oh, his own sentry now. I think, man, something happened because Huck's probe count is going down, and that Oracle
into the middle line. Only 11 workers remain. 10 workers remain. 21 have been killed off now. Another Oracle is going to go into the main base, and Huck pushes down the ramp. Another Oracle kills another probe, and this is it. Huck is going to charge for the win to see if he can push back what PartinG has outside, and so far it's looking okay, but the Oracle comes back as well.
The problem is, even if Huck does win this fight, which he kind of did there, his economy's in absolute shambles. He's mining half the amount, less than half the amount of PartinG here.
And he micros back his Stalkers, warps in a couple of Zealots to charge at the front, and chases down the remaining units of Huck, and PartinG looking for a cleanup of a 2-1 victory over Huck. Is just around the corner from doing so. The Oracle's still a threat. Double Oracle still a threat. Another photon overcharge keeps Huck alive on this natural for now. And he's trying to recover his economy, but
this is one of those situations in which it feels so hopeless. No more overcharge available. These Stalkers, they're trying to kill these Oracles. He might get one as it runs away. No, it survives. 7 workers against 23.
And this is it. Huck dances his units. GG, good luck. And PartinG goes 5-0 in group stages in Group A. And from what it seems, we'll have to get 100% confirmation, but Huck seems to be eliminated from the tournament in group stages.
Is there any way that he can go through?
I don't think so.
Like if Bly potentially lost to Probe and either sort of
Showtime.
Yeah, either one of those lose, one of them is going to lose, then it means, let's say...
But I think the Bly result already came in.
Oh, it did?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at before, I think. So, looking like we have to get confirmation from the admins. Let's finally get over there for it to be 100% certain. But Nate and Snooty are joining us back on the desk. Welcome back, boys. So, having lost Huck here, or seemingly lost Huck, PartinG goes 5-0. Very similar to Solar, very convincing.
Yeah, I don't think anyone comes into this surprised by that.
Yeah.
The Koreans are still quite good at StarCraft. I think a lot of the tension out of PvP though is certainly ramped up compared to Heart of the Swarm. I wanted to come into this saying like, oh yeah, we can see from that series, PvP, it's not all about if you expand you die. I mean, PartinG still showing that the one base play can be strong, but man, it's such a thrill to see like that fight in Orbital Shipyard outside the 4th base when they're throwing those disruptor balls at each other, and you're like, because the thing is, the disruptor attack can kill an enemy disruptor in one shot. So if you fire for your disruptor first and it kills the other disruptor, even if like that disruptor's energy ball is over your entire army super clumped up, it won't kill anything if your disruptor attack goes off before his does. Like it's like this really weird like Mexican standoff type thing.
And whoever shoots first wins.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's very
it's
weird.
cool, man.
It seems also a little. It feels very chaotic, which can sometimes randomize it a little bit, right?
I think
Or
it's,
I think eventually, sure, but right now it feels so
yeah.
wild.
It's probably really stressful for those guys, but watching it, it's just like, well, it's also stressful, but it's like really, I don't know, I find it really exciting compared to, oh, they've got 6 Colossi shooting each other at once. Wonder whose Colossi are going to randomly hit more units, That
was incredibly ballsy, by the way, of PartinG to just build kind of part of his base outside Huck's base.
For those warpins, man.
And I mean, it got scouted immediately, but it looked like Huck didn't really anticipate the Oracle at all. Or at least, even if he did, he had to worry so much about the frontal attack.
It's still like if you see something like this for the first time in a high pressure situation like DreamHack with your tournament life on the line, simply scouting something isn't always enough. Despite what people tend to think a lot of the time, that if you scout something, you're going to defend it easy peasy.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Every single person in chat would have defended that easily
So
if they
easy.
scouted it.
But also, yeah, you're totally right. StarCraft, a lot of is instinct on what you know is the right move. You don't necessarily have to think about it, whereas PartinG doing all this crazy stuff where he's planting like 3 pylons outside.
He's done this before.
Yeah, he's done this before. He's been in positions, whereas his opponents, they're not like instinctively like, oh, I know how to beat this. They're having to think there and then, which normally in StarCraft matches you don't have to do.
Yeah. We don't see things like players pressing the pause button and be like, I need to think about this for 5 minutes. I need a timeout here.
People genuinely
call
don't
a
do that. Yeah.
I need some advice.
It's a nice step for PartinG, of course, to continue to show his dominance. We're going to hear from him again now, as he has won this match. He is over in the tournament area with Smix. What's going on?
We're about to find out. I'm sure PartinG is pretty happy. PartinG, you want to look at me during the interview. First of all, congratulations. Not surprised to be talking to you again, as we all know that you're very, very good at StarCraft. But how do you feel about how you did today, just overall? 일단 축하드리고요. 조에서 1등 했으니까. 그리고 오늘 전체적으로 게임 플레이나 그냥 어떻게 됐다고 생각하세요? 개인적으로.
Today I'm very good. Lucky man. Because lucky search and lucky kill and lucky win. So today I'm lucky man.
Okay, so you're saying you're a lucky man. Does that mean that you don't have skill? It's just luck? 다 그냥 운이에요, 그러면? 실력 없고?
And little bit skill and so much luck.
Okay, PartinG's being uncharacteristically modest today. I want to talk about the fact that you, even though you did take first place, you did lose 3 maps against, I believe it was Probe, Sort of, and Huck. Now, this is very not Korean-like of you, and I'm just wondering what happened in those maps. 일단 오늘 1등은 했지만 3 맵은 졌어요. 프로브한테 한 번 지고, 솔업한테 한 번 지고, 그리고 허욱한테 한 번 졌는데 그게 되게 한국 선수답지 않거든요. 그래서 무슨 상황이세요? 거기 그때 왜 졌어요?
일단은 저는 한 판 졌다고 그러니까 뭐라 그래야 되지? 그 선수들이 못해서 졌다기보다는 일단 상대분들이 잘해가지고 졌고요. 그리고 일단 무시는 하지 않았고 무시하지 않았는데 졌기 때문에 그래서 내가 아직 많이 부족하고 상대 선수들이 아직 잘하는구나라는 생각을 오늘 많이 했고 개인적으로 솔토퍼 선수가 제일 잘했던 것 같아요 하면서.
He says, first of all, when it came to those maps, it's not that I lost because I underestimated them or anything. I actually did respect them, but I still lost those maps, so that made me realize that I still have a lot to work on personally. As well as on those maps, I don't want to say that I lost because I didn't play well or something like that. I definitely want to give full credit to those players for doing well. And lastly, I want to give particular credit to Sort of because he really impressed me out of those 3 players that I lost the map to, so credits to him for showing up. Now, PartinG, as always, you have this nickname that, your name is PartinG, but a lot of people like to call you PartinG, and that's for good reason. You have a reputation for, enjoying your time. You like to have a couple of beers or 2 or 3 or 4. So what are your plans for today? Are you going to enjoy Yeonshipping tonight? Are you going to have a beer or 2? 일단 사람들이 이제 원희삭 선수가 파티를 좋아한다고 다 알고 있거든요. 그래가지고 오늘 뭐 이제 끝났으니까 맥주나 한 잔, 2잔 마실 건지.
오늘 I want to drink with you.
All right then. Congratulations again, PartinG, on advancing in first place in Group A. Not that surprising, but of course, let's go over all the action that took place in Groups A and B. We're gonna head back to the master of Kappa himself, Nathanias.
Thank you very much, Smix. Of course, I mean, it kind of just goes without saying, but the party boy in first place, Solar as well, first place in his group. We have 2 more groups remaining, 2 more Koreans in those groups. We expecting similar results, boys?
How very un-Korean of PartinG losing maps. I mean, that's quite a funny thing that Smix said, but I think the next groups get a lot harder for the Koreans, actually. Like, Solar's group was very easy for him.
Yeah.
And he even kind of said, oh, this is easy for me. Like, there's only a few players that I'm scared of in this tournament. But yeah, the group, especially with TY, Group D, I think that group's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
I think like Group A and Group B, even though Group A was pretty close at the end, well, I would say fairly predictable. But Group C and Group D are not predictable at all. They're very close. Anybody could advance. And I think, to be honest, apart from Solar and PartinG, this is where the best players are in Group C and Group D.
Yeah, I'd agree. Snoot, any players in particular that we should be looking out for, especially the Europeans that maybe we haven't seen playing as much towards the end of Heart of the Swarm?
I think Nerchio is the one to look out for right now. He is on a very hot streak in online tournaments leading up to this, and he has been playing a lot. A lot of the time, Nerchio has been one of the very best Zergs we've had over a very, very long time. And I think right now that he's been actually practicing a lot, playing a lot, and playing a lot of online tournaments, I think Nerchio is the guy to look out for here.
I think that's fair. We can see the results of Group A and B, of course, for those of you joining us. PartinG, Showtime, and it looks to be Bly. I don't know if we had the final results in.
Even if Bly loses to Probe, they would go head-to-head with Huck, and he beat Huck head-to-head.
Okay,
so no matter what, that's the top 3.
All right.
I like that they just sprinkled random people's names in green just to confuse you who went through.
It's called the races, mate.
Yeah, man.
You know, like Protoss players are green, Zerg are usually purple.
Did you just realize that, to Muslim?
Terran are blue.
Wait, what color is Zerg there?
Purple.
It's like a purple.
And
Man,
Terran's
that
blue.
confuses me
It looks
so
like creep.
much. I just saw all the Terrans.
You thought the names were randomly colored?
I did, actually. I was like, green for going through, right? 'Cause at first it was like the top few were Protoss and stuff.
The DreamHack graphics guy is crying right now.
Yeah, he's like, damn, I
It's
really
a really
thought about
I
it.
tried so hard.
concept. It's just green for Protoss.
Well, interesting results to say the least. Do any of the players advancing surprise us at all? Are we blown away? You guys talked about Showtime being good. He had a rough start. He recovered towards the end, and Bly, I think we kind of, he's always that dangerous Zerg.
Yeah, Group B, completely as expected, I would say. Group A, though, maybe you could replace Huck with Showtime, but like we've been saying through the day, it's been a pretty close group. So
Potentially sort of as well could have made it. Like, it was a hard group. You had 5 good players in it.
All right. I guess that's going to wrap up our discussion about the first few groups of the day, guys. We are going to have quite a bit of a break as the matches for Group C and D are scheduled for 6 p.m. here in Jönköping, Sweden. So we're going to go to an extended break. When we come back, we will begin Group C and D. We'll go all the way through all the matches throughout the rest of the evening. You are watching the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship at DreamHack Winter.